Hey, what's going on, man? It's Skits Pro, Spaceship Zone. Be back soon.
Damn, dope. That's too much. You pouring up too much. How long you gotta measure that shit? What you doing?
Well, basically, I've been doing this since about middle school. I used to just like play around with cameras and put flame effects. You know how you put the gun effects in there? We used to just like make it, with the low quality cameras, we was making it work. But yeah, since about middle school. I go by Skits Pro, and most people just call me Skits. You know what I mean? Just like that. Well, the name Skits Pro it originated from a name that I chose way back like 2000s, Schizo. And that I took the so off to and put Pro there to make it like a more professional. Make it more marketable, so to speak. Cause and the Schizo represented a part of me that I don't feel like I am anymore. You know what I mean? It was like a different person. So that's where I'm at with that. Well, initially my dad was into photography and things of that nature, so I've always had a knack for cameras and anything creative and artistic, and but yeah, that was my main motivation. And coming up, I seen people like Joe Gotti and now like people like Wicked and just like Charles Robinson and different directors and stuff like that. It makes me want to do it. But initially, it was like my dad. It's funny about that. My first camera was an Ape Tech. It was called an Ape Tech, and it was a little bitty small camera, kind of like the iPhone. It had like a little fold out screen on it, and it was pretty much the only one that I could get at the time. I was selling candy to get it. Like I sold candy for about a few months. Back at that time, I was making like $100 a day too. But I saved up eventually to get the Ape Tech, and pretty much that's yeah, that's it. Yeah. The absolute first video that I shot was myself back in 2008. I used to shoot my own videos and things of that nature because I make music as well, and I'm like creative all around the board. But yeah, it was me. Pretty much, what gave me the push is Don Tripp. He was a big piece of my motivation. Because my whole life he's been behind me, and I've been watching his growth, and that's what makes me want to learn more, want to do more, and never be stagnant, never be complacent. So that's my number one motivation that keeps me going, is the fact that he keeps going. Photography and videography has put me in a place where I meet people all the time, and I'm put in places where I'm out of my comfort zone. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I like the most about it. It puts me in places where I meet people. I get a chance to travel. I'm going to Nashville tonight to deal with a Lido show and things like that. But yeah, I'm just grateful, man. Just grateful. I get my creativity from, honestly, watching the world. I get my creativity like from the randomest things, if that's a word. Like I could be walking down the street and see a tree blowing in the wind, and I'm like, oh my God, let me go make a beat off of that. And then after I make the beat off of that, I go and record the song. And after I record the song, I'm like, okay, I can see a visual behind that. See, it just takes, it's the small thing that I notice, I turn it into a big thing. And mostly my emotions as well. Like I put my emotions into my work, and that sparks my creative juices to keep staying on the edge of creativity. You know what I mean? And I don't allow people to interrupt my thoughts. Honestly, I'm all for working with other directors. I really enjoy the thought of being creative. Like I said earlier, like I've worked with Joe Gotti on some stuff. I've dealt with Charles Robinson. I work with shot by Skits. I mean Six. I've worked with Wicked. I work with many people, and I've enjoyed the relationships wholeheartedly. And overall, to answer the question, I love the idea. The dues, I mean, I would say always be a student. You know what I mean? Always learn and never, always put yourself in a place of learning. And as far as the don'ts, like one big don't is, I would say don't allow it to take over your motives, your original mentality behind it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of stuff that comes with this, and I would say don't let it change you. You know what I mean? Keep your original foundation of what you believe in. And don't stop. Don't quit. Don't quit. Study. Study lighting. Study storytelling. I would say go do something crazy that you never done. Go take tap dancing or something. Go learn a foreign language and see how you can incorporate that into what you know, what you do. You know what I mean? Be great in every aspect of it. Being a videographer means telling a story. Like, there's a song, and that song has lyrics, and the lyrics say things, and the job of the videographer, the director, whatever you want to call it, some people just say cameraman, but the job is to tell the story. And that's a big position. It's like you could be the lineman on the football field. You know what I mean? You are a small part to the puzzle, but you are also a big piece to the puzzle, because without the lineman, the quarterback gets sacked. And in this metaphor, the quarterback is the artist or the person proposing, and you miss that shot or you can't tell that story properly, you mess a person's image up. I'm naturally great at speaking. I'm naturally great at arguing. I'm naturally great at music. That's one thing that I've done equally as I've grown with the video. I've also been doing music as well, and different types of music. So if anything, I would sell myself as a musician, an artist, a producer, engineer, all of the above. You can find me at Skits Pro. SKITS.pro, and that's everywhere.